Babes, welcome back. We love you, we see you, and honestly, we are so glad you're here with us in the Snark Squad today.
Oh my God, yes. Because I need to vent. I mean, I have to say, it is a scientifically proven phenomenon that after watching exactly 5 minutes of Project Runway, I am suddenly convinced I am an absolute untouchable authority on haute couture.
Literally. Like, you go from sitting on your couch in stained sweatpants to suddenly screaming at the television about the bias cut of a garment. And I can't even sew a button.
Right. I couldn't thread a bobbin to save my own life, but suddenly I am Anna Wintour with a TV remote. I'm just demanding flawless execution from a 22-year-old who hasn't slept in 3 days.
It is the delusion for me. And honestly, that level of delusion deserves something bubbly. So I currently have a very strong French 75 on deck.
As you should. Fashion deserves champagne, or in this case, gin and champagne.
Exactly. So cheers to you, babes, and cheers to another week of ruthlessly judging outfits that we absolutely could never construct ourselves.
Cheers to that. And to the sheer audacity of the designers this week.
Oh, we are getting into it, but first, I actually invented a new game for us.
Oh, boy.
Now, listen, it's so good. I want the Snark Squad to play along in their heads, too. It's called, If We Won the Lottery.
Okay, I am already bracing myself for whatever financial ruin you are about to pitch me.
Shut up. Hear me out. So, you and I each just won $100 million.
Liquid cash.
Liquid cash. It is sitting in a bank account. We have zero financial responsibilities, no taxes, no loans, nothing. What is the very first ridiculous, totally unhinged, completely unnecessary purchase you are making?
Oh, well, that is incredibly easy. I am buying a super yacht.
Wait, what? A super yacht?
Yes, absolutely.
You literally complain about the humidity ruining your blowout if we just walk past the decorative fountain to the mall. Why would you want a boat?
I don't actually care about the ocean. The ocean is just a moat for my exclusivity. I am buying a super yacht for the sole, hyper-specific purpose of banning people who wear fast fashion from boarding it.
You are so toxic.
It's about curation. I would have a massive, terrifying bouncer at the gangway. If he checks your tag and it says Shein or H&M, you go directly into the sea. I mean, I'm just cleaning up the fashion environment one localized drowning at a time.
That is so incredibly dark, but also, like, totally aligned with your soul.
Thank you. What about you? Let me guess, something horribly impractical.
Obviously. I want pure, unadulterated romance. I am taking my $100 million, and I am buying a decrepit, sprawling, probably haunted French chateau in the Loire Valley.
A fixer-upper with $100 million.
It is not a fixer-upper. It has patina.
It smells like mildew and dead aristocrats.
I don't care. I want 50 bedrooms that I never sleep in. I want a sweeping stone staircase where I can just, dramatically descend in a silk robe, crying beautifully about absolutely nothing.
You realize a chateau means drafty windows, right? Like, the heating bill alone will bankrupt you by February. The plumbing fundamentally does not work in those places.
The plumbing is a minor afterthought when the aesthetics are that devastatingly good.
You are insane.
Okay, part 2 of the game. You have all this money. Which fashion designer gets unlimited, unrestricted access to your bank account to just dress you forever?
Ooh. See, part of me wants to joke and say Christian Siriano, just so I can sit in his atelier and have him read me to filth while pinning tulle to my body.
You would destroy your self-esteem.
You really would. But actually, if I want to project pure, intimidating power, I am hiring Law Roach to be my personal image architect.
Oh my God, Law Roach dressing you, you would be so insufferable.
I would be flawless. I want him to just hand me an archival 1995 Thierry Mugler suit and tell me to shut up and put it on.
You would walk into the grocery store to buy oat milk, looking like you're going to the Met Gala.
And I would judge everyone picking out avocados in their athleisure. The Mugler silhouette is armor. Who are you giving your money to?
See, if Law Roach styled me, I think I would just dissolve into tears the second he yelled at me about my posture. I need a softer touch.
So who then?
Giambattista Valli. I want layers and layers and layers of unnecessary, aggressively massive tulle. Like, I want to take up so much physical space that I become a literal fire hazard.
Do you understand the mechanics of a Giambattista Valli tulle gown? It's not just a tutu.
I know it's big.
It's hundreds of yards of fabric. You wouldn't even be able to fit through the door of your own haunted chateau. You'd have to walk sideways through your own life.
Exactly. I want my clothing to enter the room 4 seconds before my body does.
You're ridiculous.
Okay, but let's be real. Do we actually become quiet luxury billionaires, or are we just complete fashion disasters with unlimited money?
I worship at the altar of the row. I would be a quiet luxury billionaire, unstructured, devastatingly expensive charcoal gray sacks that cost $12,000. True wealth whispers.
Okay, I'm calling you out right now.
Excuse me.
You pretend to be this severe analytical fashion critic, but if you had $100 million, you would be covered in so many interlocking logos, you'd look like a Formula One race car.
The slander.
You are secretly tacky.
How dare you? You, on the other hand, would revert straight to 2004. You'd buy a rhinestone Juicy Couture tracksuit and think you were the height of sophistication.
I mean, early 2000s logomania was a cultural reset, so I would look fabulous. But we'd both probably go broke in 3 years anyway.
Speak for yourself.
Moving on. We're doing a rapid-fire round of the Snark Squad Style Awards.
Let's do it.
Give me your immediate, visceral answer. First award. An outfit you will defend forever. The hill you will absolutely die on.
Alexander McQueen's armadillo shoes from the Spring-Summer 2010 collection.
What? No. Those alien hooves.
They are genius. I know high-profile models literally refuse to walk the show because they feared for their ankles. I don't care.
You would pick something that requires a liability waiver to wear.
Let me explain the mechanics of why they are so important. McQueen didn't just make a high heel. He fundamentally altered the biomechanics of the human leg. The shoe is 12 inches high, carved from wood, and it forces this predatory, forward-leaning posture.
But they look like two giant metallic baking potatoes.
They redefine the silhouette of the foot. They're the most important footwear of the 21st century.
Okay, structurally, I get it. But my outfit is entirely emotional. It's Carrie Bradshaw's massive, absurd, seafoam green Versace milfoil gown in Paris.
Oh, the most impractical garment ever committed to film.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It looks like 1,000 delicate leaves of spun sugar. It is the literal visual representation of crushing expectation and heartbreak.
From a structural perspective, it looked like an exploding loofah.
You have no soul. Okay, next award. A fashion trend that should never, under any circumstances, return.
Low-rise jeans.
Oh, totally.
And I don't mean the cute Y2K revival we're seeing now. I mean the authentic 2003 2-inch zipper, dangerously close to exposing your appendix low-rise jeans. Especially when combined with the absolute scourge that was the dress-over-pants trend.
Oh my God, yes. The sparkly tunic dress over flared jeans.
It was a crime against proportions. We were bisecting the female form in the most violently unflattering way. You end up looking like your torso is 3 feet long and your legs are 12 inches long.
We all thought we were Ashley Tisdale on a red carpet.
We all deserve financial compensation for emotional distress.
Okay, but this leads perfectly to the next award. One trend you swore you'd hate but secretly love. Confess.
I will take this to my grave.
You have to confess.
Fine. I miss massive, chunky platform flip-flops.
Yes, the thick foam ones.
The black foam ones with the thick thong strap. They offered zero arch support, they made a horrendous slapping sound, and they probably shortened my Achilles tendon.
But they made your calves look amazing.
Exactly. It was a podiatry nightmare, but a visual win for the lower leg. What's your secret shame?
Chunky, high-contrast highlights, like the Kelly Clarkson zebra stripes.
Oh, wow.
I don't want seamless balayage. I want it to look like a barcode was printed on my skull. Bleach blonde right next to jet black.
You look like a skunk that fell into a bucket of bleach. The chemical damage alone.
I felt like a pop-punk princess. Okay.
You're sick.
Final game before the runway recap. The worst thing we wore as teens.
I feel attacked already.
I'll go first. 2008. I was deeply convinced I was the quirky main character of a Sundance indie movie. I wore a plaid fedora.
Oh, no! Not the fedora.
Earnestly. And I paired it with an incredibly skinny, knitted infinity scarf in the dead of July.
A scarf in summer.
It provided no warmth. The hat provided no shade. I was sweating in a graphic tee that said something like, "Music is my boyfriend."
You were a walking tragic comedy. We really let big yarn control our lives for a decade. What even is an infinity scarf in execution? It's a fabric chokehold.
What was your crime? Don't hide.
I misunderstood tailoring. I thought tailored meant make it as tight as chemically possible without snapping the thread.
Oh, I can picture this.
I wore a black button-down to a dance that was so tight there were literal diamond-shaped gaps of bare skin between every button, and I paired it with a fat, shiny white satin tie.
Over the black shirt, the emo mobster look.
I look like a depressed magician's assistant who just got off a shift at a mafia-themed restaurant.
If one of those buttons popped, you could have blinded a chaperone.
And here is the tragedy. There are photos. on Facebook servers. I firmly believe we need a federal law that scrubs any Facebook photo over a decade old. I have grown. My digital footprint needs to reflect that growth.
Mark Zuckerberg is cyberbullying us.
He really is. Every generation thinks they are fashionable until the photos resurface.
But babes, enough about our own fashion crimes. Let's head to the runway where people actually know what they're doing, or, well, supposedly know what they're doing. The recap. I am so ready. We have to start right where the episode picked up. The Bloodbath cliffhanger.
The tension was orchestrated perfectly.
We were left hanging last week with 4 designers on the chopping block, and only one gets saved. Jeffrey Kelly Avis survives. I literally screamed. I was so happy for him.
We have to look at the garment that saved him, though. The candelabra-shaped, pearl-adorned gown. Was it over the top? Yes,
Yeah.
but structurally, it was a marvel.
For those of us who don't sew, how do you even make that? It looks so heavy.
It requires intense underpinnings. You can't just sew curls onto chiffon. You have to use heavy interfacing, wire framing stitched into the seams, and industrial-strength boning just to support the architectural shape of the shoulders.
Wow.
What saved him wasn't just the shock value, it was the sheer engineering and his narrative pivot. He promised the judges he would stop designing costumes and start designing fashion.
You could see the relief wash over the judges when he said that. But that relief meant devastation for the other 3. We lost Robbie Crone, and I am still mourning him.
You and your tragic backstories.
But you have to feel for him. He was going through a divorce after 7 years. He wanted to take back control of his life. To be cut basically in the first 5 minutes is just brutal television.
It is sad on a human level, sure. But the runway is an equalizer. The judges do not care about your divorce when your hemline is bubbling and your bodice is buckling.
You are so cold.
This is the big leagues. And speaking of drag designers buckling, we have to talk about the absolute delusion of Plain Jane.
The screaming I did at my television.
I am still vibrating with secondhand embarrassment.
Plain Jane gets eliminated, which, okay, her garment was falling apart. But then she returns to the workroom to pack up her kit, and she's wearing this crazy synthetic tease to the heavens wig and knock-off Lady Gaga plastic sunglasses.
A giant middle finger to the concept of refinement.
She gets eliminated from a prestigious fashion competition and decides to put on a worse outfit to say goodbye.
And her exit quote. She says, "I'm a drag queen first, so I can't be mad."
I respect the detachment from reality, honestly.
It's pure camp.
But it brings up a crucial point about the divide between drag construction and high fashion construction.
Right. Why do drag designers always struggle on this show?
Because the requirements are entirely different. Drag is for the stage. It's viewed from 50 feet away in a dark club. You want maximum visual impact. You use stretch fabrics, heavy padding, hot glue. You don't care about a jagged inner seam.
Because nobody sees it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. High fashion is scrutinized from 2 feet away under harsh, clinical runway lights. A crooked top stitch ruins the garment. Plain Jane just couldn't bridge that gap.
That makes a lot of sense. But I will miss her energy. Oh, and we lost Arboninola Gabriel, too. And I'm pushing back on the judges here. I felt so protective of her.
Here we go.
She's a former Miss Universe. Everyone expects her to just be a pretty face.
Yeah.
And I thought her denim look showed real construction promise. Denim is hard.
I am shutting this down right now. You are grading on a curve because you like her.
But explain why denim is hard so we understand.
Fine. Denim is a heavy twill weave cotton. It is incredibly dense. To manipulate it, to sew through multiple layers at a seam intersection, requires immense hand strength and heavy-duty industrial needles.
See?
She did that.
Yes. Manipulating denim is technically proficient. However, technical proficiency does not equal high fashion design. Her look was pedestrian. It looked like something from a mid-tier department store in 2014.
It did not have the elevation or the silhouette to stay in the competition. Being Miss Universe gives you poise, but it doesn't magically infuse your fingertips with the ability to drape haute couture.
You are ruthless.
Stop settling for good construction when the design puts you to sleep.
Okay. Let's move into the meat of the episode, the challenge and the twist.
Christian Siriano walks in. The challenge is a redemption look. Show your personal style under pressure. $500 budget at Mood Fabrics, and exactly 1 day to execute it.
I was wondering about that budget. $500 sounds like a lot for a regular fabric store.
Yeah.
But what does that actually get you at Mood if you want couture?
Very little. A high-quality silk charmeuse is maybe $80 a yard. A beaded French lace could be $300 a yard. So your budget buys you maybe 2 yards of luxury fabric, and then you have zero money left for zippers, thread, or structural interfacing.
So they have to choose between Cheap synthetic fabric or tiny amounts of the good stuff.
Yes, and synthetics like polyester look terrible under runway lights. Plus, they only have 8 hours of sewing.
I can't even reply to emails in 8 hours.
And then Christian drops the bomb. The jury twist.
I started spiraling.
12 safe designers, the 6 immune winners, plus the 6 eliminated designers will vote to save one of the bottom 5 at the very end of the episode.
It instantly turned into a popularity contest. The workroom paranoia was so thick you could cut it with a rotary cutter.
I love the gamification. It's Survivor with sewing machines. Did you see Bobby and Andre immediately acting like high school bullies, whispering and plotting?
I hated it. It punishes the introverts. Jude Mikulinkak looked so distressed. He said, "This is not a popularity contest. We should keep it about the work." I wanted to hug him.
Jude is naive. Meanwhile, Andre is openly plotting to save the weakest designer in the bottom 5 just to protect himself.
That is so shady.
It is brilliant Machiavellian strategy. Why throw a lifeline to a massive threat? Let the genius drown and save the person making a burlap sack. It's self-preservation.
It's morally bankrupt. We want good fashion. Which brings us to the actual workroom mess. The beef between Byham and Brian Barrientos.
Hanging in the Louvre.
It was so messy. Brian keeps referring to B as his intern. The disrespect.
So they met previously at the FAT-SIPA design competition. Brian made B his premier, the technical executor. But then B supposedly gossiped about him, so Brian demoted him to intern.
And now Brian is throwing it in By's face on national TV just to rattle his cage. I am totally Team B, especially after the pin tucks.
Christian Siriano's reaction to those pin tucks was everything.
He literally offered B a job on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if you could do pin tucks in 10 minutes, you don't need this show. What exactly is a pin tuck and why is doing it in 10 minutes crazy?
A pin tuck is a tiny folded pleat sewn very close to the edge of the fabric. Mathematically, it's difficult because every fold shrinks your overall yardage, so you have to perfectly calculate your extra fabric beforehand.
Right.
And to sew them perfectly straight without a specialized presser foot in 10 minutes. It requires supernatural machine control. Bai has skills that rival Paris seamstresses.
And Brian knows it, which is why he's bullying him. But the award for the most chaotic journey goes to Anna Molinari.
The delusion was breathtaking.
I cried with her. She started day 1 trying to recreate a literal butter yellow dress she made when she was 10 years old, playing Project Broadway.
Clinging to a childhood fantasy and completely ignoring that a 10-year-old's aesthetic is inherently unrefined.
Christian gave her that look, you know, the raised eyebrow, disappointed head tilt.
And when you get that look, you pivot.
And what a pivot. She scraps the yellow mess, gets permission to use her luxury pink and purple lace from home, and whips up a gown on day 2. And they kept saying she cut it on the bias. Why is that important?
So woven fabric has straight grains, vertical and horizontal threads, no stretch, but the bias is the 45-degree diagonal angle. If you cut on the bias, the fabric gains incredible elastic stretch and fluid drape.
So why doesn't everyone do it?
Because it is a nightmare to sew. The edges become completely unstable. As you feed it into the sewing machine, the metal teeth stretch the fabric out of shape, giving you wavy, puckered seams.
Oh, wow.
To sew sheer lace on the bias in 3 hours without warping, it requires immense technical understanding.
The adrenaline. I was sweating. But then we had a pivot that hit a brick wall. Aaron Kotz.
Oh, Aaron, a veteran of American sportswear. Badgley, Mishka, and Klein.
He decides to make a charcoal jersey bodysuit. And Christian warns him the fit has to be immaculate.
And it wasn't. It pulled in all the wrong places. He threw it in the trash and pivoted to a miniskirt with a scrunchy elastic waistband.
Elastic waistband.
On a high fashion runway. It is a fashion crime of the highest order.
But explain why. We all wear elastic waistbands.
We wear them to eat Thanksgiving dinner, not for La Roche. An elastic waistband requires zero tailoring. High fashion fits the body using contoured waistbands, interfacing, and calculated darts.
Right.
An elastic waistband just cinches a tube of fabric, creating a bulky mushroom effect around the waist. It is lazy. It shows a complete breakdown in design integrity.
I felt so bad for him. But speaking of doing too much and failing, Octavius Terry.
The Olympic hurdler.
I was rooting for him. He made this gorgeous, oversized floral overcoat.
Stunning coat, volume, print placement, everything.
But he ruined it by making a backless vegan leather tuxedo to go underneath. Why?
Vegan leather is usually just polyurethane. It doesn't breathe, and worse, it sticks to the metal presser foot of the sewing machine.
Oh, so it just jams.
Yes, unless you use a Teflon foot. And you can't pin it. Pins leave permanent, visible holes in the plastic. You have to use clips. So tailoring a complex backless suit in sticky plastic under a time crunch is a recipe for disaster.
He hurdled over his own talent.
Yeah.
And then Yang Yangshu.
She used her laser-cut raven fabric again, episode 2, and she's already repeating her one trick.
An ombre gradient maxi dress with the exact same technique as last week. Critchen was right. It's repetitive.
She's acting like a fabric manufacturer, not a designer.
Okay, we have to get to the runway. Ice Spice is filling in, plus Tyra Banks and Law Roach are back.
The critiques were savage.
And we have to start by dragging the immune designers, even though they were safe.
We afford no mercy on the Snark side.
They look so smug on the sidelines. Elizabeth Chevalev's ruffled scarlet satin dress looked like a Westworld reject.
Satin is highly reflective. Every single pucker in her seams caught the light. It was heavy and dated.
And Chloe Maggleby's white eyelet two-piece was literal bedsheets.
Eyelet cotton lacks structure. If you don't tailor it aggressively, it just looks like a duvet cover, a mattress commercial.
And Brian, he made a quilted crop top that looked like an inverted ice cream cone. Why was it so stiff?
Quilting traps batting between layers. It adds bulk. Without proper darts, a quilted crop top won't contour to the bust. It just stands away like cardboard armor.
I will defend Jude's plaid mid-thigh coat, though. That was sharp.
It was acceptable. But let's talk about the top 3 who actually delivered. Joseph McRae takes the win for his half-gray, half-rainbow bomber jacket.
So obsessed, it felt like Paris Fashion Week streetwear. Tyra loved it.
His tailoring was impeccable. Easing a sleeve cap, fitting the larger curve of the shoulder into the smaller armhole without puckers is incredibly hard with thick felt. He nailed it.
We also have to applaud Anna's lace miracle. Law Roach literally said he wanted to steal it for a celebrity client.
A massive validation.
And Jeffrey bounced back with his sharp-shouldered, crisscross back dress. Full coverage in front, open back. It screamed luxury.
He proved he's not just a costume designer.
But then, the lighting gets dark. The bottom 5, brutality.
This is where I get my popcorn.
Law versus Tyra. Law loved B's Pintuck top, but Tyra hated it because she hates the color black.
I was yelling at the screen, who hates black in fashion?
It's so absurd.
Tyra saying she doesn't like black is historically ignorant. Coco Chanel made the little black dress universal. The Japanese avant-garde designers in the 80s, like Yohji Yamamoto, took over Paris with black.
Because it forces you to look at the silhouette.
Exactly. When you remove color, you focus on architecture and texture. Tyra was just finding a reason to be mad for the cameras.
And then Law throwing massive shade at Octavius. He loved the coat, but Tyra said the vegan leather suit looked like fast fashion, and Law just deadpans. I don't visit those sites.
A masterclass in elitist shade, dismissing the entire cheap clothing industry and Octavius in one breath.
But the read that made me cringe. Tyra telling Bautranchi her mesh cutout dress looked like a Borat swimsuit.
Brutal, but correct. Let's explain why that seam failed. Bao used a serger, an overlock machine.
What does that do?
It cuts the edge of the fabric and wraps thread around it to stop fraying. It's fast, but bulky. On sheer mesh, that wrapped thread becomes a visible, opaque caterpillar running down the body.
Which ruins the illusion of bare skin.
Exactly. You have to use a French seam for sheer fabric. Using a serger turned an architectural gown into a novelty costume.
I couldn't unsee the Borat comparison, so the judges deliberate, and they save Nahai Muhammad and Aaron Potts.
Naheim being saved is baffling. Heidi Klum called it Robin Hood meets Sherlock Holmes.
Oversized army jacket, wide crop pants, weird hat.
Total costume. But Ice Spice liked the streetwear vibe, I guess?
And Aaron survives despite the elastic skirt. Law was so disappointed, he said, it's a shame that this is what you presented.
They saved him on legacy. If a student sent that skirt down the runway, they'd be put in a cab immediately.
So our bottom 5 are Bai, Octavius, Danny Bennett, Ba, and Yang Yang. They await the jury of 12. And then Brian bursts into crocodile tears.
He is weeping.
Begging the group to save his intern Bai. After bullying him all week. Is it strategy or guilt?
100% strategy. Game theory. He wants to look like the benevolent king sparing the peasant for the cameras. He's controlling the narrative.
And we have to wait until next week for the vote. I was screaming.
The editors are cruel.
Okay, let's pivot to segment 1, best look of the week.
It's between Anna's lace gown and Joseph's rainbow bomber. For me, it is unequivocally Joseph.
Really?
Yes, the construction. Tailoring a bomber that transitions from flat gray felt to a voluminous rainbow requires engineering. The creativity is highly wearable, marketable, and perfectly captures his brand identity.
I am pushing back. I am giving it to Anna.
The bias cut lace.
Yes. The emotional resilience, the creativity to pivot that fast, to construct a sheer lace gown that flows beautifully in a fraction of the time. That is raw talent.
It's a flex of speed, but is it a flex of design? It's just a pretty dress.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
LaRoche wanted to put it on a celebrity immediately. That is winning the week.
Fine, you take romance, I'll take structure. Let's move to segment 2. So, what happened? The biggest misses. Aaron's miniskirt versus Bao's Borat mesh. Did the judges get it right by saving Aaron?
I actually think they did.
You're kidding.
Hear me out. Bao's visible surged back seam was a fundamental construction flaw that made the dress look cheap. The illusion failed. Aaron's skirt was boring, but Bao's was a failed execution of a complex idea. Her bottom 5 placement was justified.
I am furious, and I reject your logic completely.
Why?
An elastic waistband is an automatic elimination offense on this show. It is a total surrender of design integrity. He just gave up and made mall clothes. So we reward the designer who aims for the floor, rather than the one who aims for the ceiling and misses.
That's reality TV. Sometimes you survive just by not making the most glaring technical error.
It sets a terrible precedent.
Okay, segment 3. Who's making Fashion Week? The frontrunners.
Joseph is locked in. He has immunity, a clear brand, and he knows how to play the reality TV game.
I think Anna's a major threat, too. Her speed under pressure is a lethal weapon. Imagine what she'll do on a 2-day challenge.
But we have to look at their weaknesses. Anna's weakness is her emotional volatility and literal inspiration, and she already burned her luxury lace from home. What will she use for the finale?
That's true, she panicked.
And Joseph's weakness is his lack of editing. He needs to take Coco Chanel's advice and take one accessory off before he sends the model out, or the judges will get fatigued.
Who's your dark horse?
Yeah.
I am championing Jude Mikulinkai.
The boy with the morals.
Yes. His plaid coat was tailored beautifully, and plaid is incredibly hard to match at the seams. Plus, his integrity during the voting twist shows he has the focus to survive the psychological warfare.
Focus is currency, I'll give you that.
Final segment. Runway predictions. Who is winning next week?
Bam.
Over Anna. I think Anna rides the momentum.
No, B will survive the vote because producers love drama, and he will design out of pure, unadulterated spite against Brian. Spite is a fantastic motivator.
I love a spite garment. Okay. Who is in danger?
Aaron Potts. The legacy card is maxed out. One more botched fit, and he's gone.
Totally agree. And the biggest rivalry is clearly the immune clique, Bobby and Andre, versus the rest of the workroom. Plus, Brian and Bai.
The workroom is going to be a toxic wasteland.
Give me your chaotic prediction.
The jury vote will result in a dead 6-6 tie, complete gridlock. Christian Siriano will have to dramatically cast the deciding vote himself.
Oh, the drama. Christian holding the executioner's axe. I love it. My chaotic prediction is that Plain Jane sneaks back onto the soundstage in a fake mustache to critique the garments until security drags her out.
That feels like a spoiler, honestly.
All right, this season is giving us everything. But it leaves us with a deeper thought. When you commodify art into a game, do you lose the soul of the design? Are we watching artists create or gladiators survive?
That is the ultimate question of the fashion industry.
So, Snark Squad, we turn it over to you. 3 questions. Number 1, which designer are you rooting for?
Number 2, what is the absolute worst fashion trend you ever participated in? I demand photographic evidence.
Tag us. And number 3, if you won $100 million tomorrow, what is the first ridiculous purchase you're making? My chateau or the anti-fast fashion yacht?
Choose wisely.
Thank you, babes, for listening, drinking, and judging alongside us.
Subscribe, leave a 5-star review to fund our yacht, and share the podcast with another fashion-loving babe.
Stay fabulous, stay fashionable.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.